Well, my next guests are mothers who had to deal with the emotional roller coaster of a diagnosis of autism for their children. I'd like to welcome Anna Wang. She is a parent of 18-year-old Lawrence, and Rosy Valledor. She is a parent of 2 children, 4-year-old Peyton and 7-year-old Sid, and they both are autistic.
They both have autism.
Oh, they both have autism. So thank you very much for being here and sharing your stories. And I'm really happy to have the 2 of you because there's a spectrum. Anna, your son is 18.
He's 18,
He was diagnosed when he was, what?
3 years old.
3 years old. And things were really different back then.
Nobody knows how to work with a child with autism.
Right, and it wasn't really that spoken about back in those days. So how did you deal with that?
Basically, when he was first diagnosed, I personally don't know much about autism myself. So I basically had to dig up a lot of information and read up upon it and see what kind of help I can get for my son.
You had to educate yourself.
Yes, definitely. I actually went back to college for another year to educate myself in special education, in speech and language development, and behavioral psychology.
And you have three children altogether?
I have 3 children, yes.
Okay, so you have an older one than Lawrence,
and then
you have
a
a younger
one. And the 2 other children are both girls.
Both girls, okay. And then Rosa, you have 2 children.
Yes.
A 7 and a 4-year-old.
Correct.
And they both have autism, but they both have different symptomology, if you will?
Yes. My oldest son, he uses PECS to communicate, which is a picture exchange communication system. When he needs something or wants something, he shows you a picture.
In other words, he doesn't
use his words.
He doesn't
use words. He can't. It doesn't work for him.
Okay.
Meanwhile, my youngest son, he can sing. He can play the guitar. But it's hard to have a conversation with him because he's saying a lot of phrases and he's starting to put words together. Luckily, he goes to a nice school and at the Lynn Center, and they've taught him to make sentences and express himself. And when he's lost for words, he uses the PECS, the pictures, for support or sometimes sign language.
In your case, I mean, your oldest being 7 years old, things have developed quite a bit differently from when Anna first found out about her son. So was it, I know it's never easy, but was it relatively easy for you to be able to reach out and find services?
I think we probably had a lot easier
time.
Yes,
yes,
There weren't very many services for Anna back then.
Right.
There weren't that many services, but what happens is you have a lot of people selling snake oil on the internet, and you don't know where to turn to. And luckily there were a couple of books. From the time I found out my son, when he's 7 years old, when we found out when he was 2 years, 9 months, there was a lot more websites, a lot more information, a lot more conferences. Back then there weren't as many conferences, and I was pretty much hitting them all. Right,
and there's a lot more information out there. And
currently, just this year we have like 4 autism conferences in the Bay Area.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth, Anna. Anna, you are the co-founder and vice president of programs with the Friends of Children with Special Needs.
That's correct.
And Rosa, you're very active in the, you're a mentor?
Yes.
In the parent-to-parent program with Care Parent Network?
Yes.
And also, you're also involved in a Spanish language organization that helps parents. And both of you brought down some photographs because we want to see these kids. Your son did a self-portrait, and we have a picture of him. And listen, that's pretty good.
When he was first diagnosed, he actually doesn't even hold a pencil until he was 5 years old.
Wow, look at this. Now, how long ago did he do this drawing?
Only 2 months ago.
Oh, just 2 months ago. Wow.
He drew that.
That's very good. And we have a picture of your children, Peyton and Sid. Cute, adorable ones. Which one's which?
The one, I guess, to the left is...
in the yellow?
In the yellow is Sid, and he's 7. And the other one, not showing his teeth, is Peyton.
Really cute.
4.
And, the other reason why I'm so happy that the 2 of you are here is that you put a different face to autism because you are women of color. And the question is now, is this a disease or is this a developmental issue that has no boundaries?
There has no boundaries. I totally agree with that because, our organization, when we first founded, actually just a lot of them are Asian. we currently still have 80% Asian in our organization and 20% other ethnicities. But yeah, a lot of the children in our organization have autism. You know,
and I would say in Asian culture, usually you kind of hide that too.
Yeah, it's a stigma. And I think, you know, a lot of people, parent families, worries about what's going to happen to them, to their children. And then they want to see that somebody's out there that understands their feeling and their culture and are willing to journey together and share the experience.
Exactly.
They came and joined. Our organization was founded 12 years ago with 10 families. Now we have over 600 families in our organization.
I mean, it's great that you're helping that many people, but it's too bad that you have that many people to help. You know, definitely.
Well, yes,
but
sure.
I'm glad that your service is there.
Definitely now everybody knows that there's nothing to be ashamed of and that there's so much stuff that we can do for our children to bring a brighter future.
And Rosa, you're trying to help Hispanic families and people who don't speak English so that you can reach out to them and give them information and help too.
Yes, Congreso Familiar is an organization that does focus on the Spanish-speaking population. We believe in educating the parent and also teaching them how to be an advocate. We just recently received a wonderful grant that hopefully we'll get in. It's in the baby stages that we're going to be having a whole bunch of Spanish-speaking parents and teach them advocacy, focus on advocacy, so they can spread it around to their communities and start their organizations, because you need to plant seeds here and there.
Empowering the families is the way to go. And you know, our organization is more like a village than an organization because we have programs for very young children all the way to adulthood, so that, you know, when the parents get sick or really have to pass on, that they don't have to worry that nobody knows how to take care of the children. Adult children, and then, you know, since they grow up together.
There are services for children, but once they get to that point where they're 18 or 21,
there's adult services in our organization also.
And even when they're children, it's still hard to get services. You have to prove. But when we have, Congreso has our annual conference, and we start educating the parents of their rights and what kind of different therapies, all of a sudden they start learning this different jargon. And when they go to their school districts and they have a meeting, their individual educational plan, all of a sudden they're speaking the same language as therapists.
Empowering parents and educating them. Ladies, I wish we could spend more time, but we're out of time. But we have information on both organizations up on the screen, so jot that down, give them a call, contact them. They're out there to help you. So thank you, ladies, for being here. And still ahead on Bay Area People, a program that provides support and programs for individuals and families dealing with this particular issue and special needs children. Don't go away. We'll be right back.